All right, and we're live. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Multiverse Show, episode 153, the greatest show on Mondays. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got a lot of things to catch up on after missing last week, but it's going to be dope. So let's get things started and rocking and rolling. Let's get on the show on the road. First off, we have the Gaming Gambino making his triumphant return after a month of being off the air, Mr. Mike P. to Truth.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Thank you for joining us for another wonderful episode of the It feels fantastic to be back, ready to get this show started. We got some great topics tonight, as always, so let's...
Hello?
Yep.
All right, there you go. Sorry, I didn't hear anything from him at all, so get out for me.
He talked. Yep. He gave his intro. He gave it his all.
Yeah, sorry, cut a little early. Is there an issue with this? I can't hear him. 1 minute.
Uh-oh.
1 second. He's not popping up on the audio feed here. Uno momento, por favor. Should be fine, though. Let me make sure.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I've heard you all. Just letting you know.
All right, try it now. Talk, please.
Yep. Hello.
You.
All right, hello?
Yep, we're right here.
There we
Yeah,
go.
we're here.
Okay, figured it out. All right, gotcha. We're good. Mike, do your intro for me one more time. I'm sorry about that, guys. We had a little bit of a weird technical thing.
Take two, Mike. Take two.
Wonderful. Yeah. It feels great to be back. We have a great docket of topics preparing for you guys and girls tonight, as always, so let's get this show on the road.
Yep, there we go. I can hear you guys on the stream. We're good. Excellent. All right, so going on to the next person here, we have Mr. Samuel Tolbert bringing up the ring.
Hey, everybody. Good to be back. Good to be back with my bros here.
All right. At the last second here, we have our former Sound Master General, Mr. James Wilson, the Caesar of Cinema, making his return to the Multiverse Show.
Good evening for everyone over there, and good morning for me, for I am broadcasting to you live from sunny Sydney, Australia.
Ooh.
Nice.
I'm going to make a terrible joke. All right, did you go to 42 Wallaby Way?
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Okay. No?
Man, I was before your time, you young whippersnapper. I guess finding
Okay.
Emo isn't cool with the kids anymore.
Oh, that's not the name of the street.
Yeah, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
Okay. Well, it's also okay. First of all, I'm older than Finding Nemo. And also it's not a real street. I remember I have looked this up.
What? Not a real street.
Yeah.
I was lied to by John Lasseter and the rest of the folks at Pixar.
I mean,
Again.
you were lied to when they went talking fish.
Yeah.
You got you there.
All right, and we also have our the Duke of Dallas himself, Mr. I Dizzy, joining us in for this week again.
Duke of Dallas is kind of like a nice ring too. I like that.
Yeah, well, you know, we already got the Titan of Texas, so you had to go a step down. So.
Hey.
All right, so we're gonna get things rocking and rolling, but here we gotta do our quick little intros. So with our group here, the question we've been asking every single week, but more specifically for Mike because he's been gone. He was the one to introduce this damn question. So what have you guys been playing, Mike? It's been a month. What have you been playing, sir?
Playing a couple different things, man. Still playing 2K20, having some fun with that. I've been playing Rocket League. Rocket League is one of those games that never really gets old. I did start Ori, as in Ori and the Blind Forest. I don't know
You
how
fraud.
this game is. Yeah, apparently
You
I'm
fraud.
a fraud because this game has escaped me up to this point. But I mean, I started it. I think the game is great. It's beautiful. I'm looking forward to finishing it and then moving on to Will of the Wisps. But other than that, the game that I've been enjoying the most is 2 Point Hospital, man. It's on Game Pass. I also have it for the Switch. This game is definitely worth playing. One of these it's one of these business management type of games, but it's really quirky. It's got a great sense of humor. The game really lays out well in the introductory moments what the mechanics are, how to go about crafting your perfect hospital, and it's got a lot of fun little things in it. Like when somebody dies in your hospital, they turn into a ghost, and they get ectoplasm all over the place. When the janitor sucks them up in the vacuum, they got to clean that up. People come in, they're lightheaded, they got light bulbs as heads. It's a fun game. It's one of my most anticipated games this year, and yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. Ooh, what's this Ori sequel? Will of the Whips? Ooh. Sounds a bit more suggestive.
Will of the Wisp, you degenerate.
Oh.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? Speaking on that 2 Point Hospital, I feel like 2 Point Hospital is a game for crack addicts. I came out of the living room at 2 o'clock in the morning. My wife is out here still operating her hospital like it wasn't 2 o'clock in the morning.
All right. Mr. James Wilson, sir, I know you've been on vacation. Are you playing anything, or are you just going through life?
I've not had time to play video games, unfortunately. All my consoles are back at home. The only game I'm playing is like a brick breaker kind of thing on my phone. I mean, it's great. It's basically Tetris, and Tetris is the greatest game of all time.
Hey, it's old school, man. I remember back on the iPod playing that playing bricks.
I mean, the best version of Brick Breaker was on the BlackBerry.
Never got to play that one.
I'm putting this out there. Come at me. Best version of Brick Breaker, BlackBerry standard.
I would say the best version of a brick breaker type of game right now is Balls, Ballz. There's like no ads on it, which I love that automatically. And it's very zen, very enjoyable. Anyway. Mr. Sam Wilson, what do you Sam Tolbert, not Sam Wilson. I'm thinking a mix between two different people, and I'm thinking a Falcon. Not a hint of my fan casting to come.
Yep.
So anyway, what you been playing?
Been playing a few different things. Been continuing to work on Gears 5. I've nearly maxed out Operation 2, all the cosmetics there, so I'm really looking forward to that. I wasn't quite able to finish Operation 1, so I'm going to be really happy when I finish the second one. I just love that game. It's my go-to multiplayer. I played quite a bit of Bleeding Edge at a recent preview event. I got to play around with the new character. That was a lot of fun. And then I've also been playing Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition. Never touched the Definitive Edition of the game, and it adds a ton of helpful things for you, like the fast travel between the shrines and stuff like that. So yeah, that's really, really helpful. So I've been enjoying that.
So you're telling me only the OGs remember when there was no fast travel?
That's correct. And then let's see, what else? I've been actually playing a little bit of Warcraft 3 Reforged. I know that game is a meme for all the online nonsense, but honestly, the campaign missions are still awesome. That stuff is still great. So I've been enjoying that. And I'm continuing to play Kentucky Route Zero, which I've talked about on here a little bit before in the past couple of episodes. But that's been it for me.
All right, that's dope. All right, and Mr. I Dizzy, sir, I know you've had a chance to play it too much, but what you been playing, sir?
I'm still trying to get through and beat Borderlands 3. I'm actually trying to 100% the first playthrough that I'm on. Aside from that, I started your favorite PlayStation game, Horizon Zero Dawn.
No!
So go ahead and I'll get that one finished eventually.
Rise of Mediocrity.
Yeah. But yeah, those are the two that I'm playing.
Fine. Anyway. Let's see. What else is there going on? I know you put out an article recently. Would you care to do a little promo for that?
Well, when you say putting out an article, you got to remember the three of us in here are writers. So, which of us three are you talking, sir?
You in particular, Sir Dizzy.
Oh, the cancer article?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I recently I had an editorial where I discuss kind of what somebody goes through whenever they're dealing with. In my case, it would be cancer, but pretty much it's to relate for anybody who's dealing with some kind of ailment while they're still part of the gaming community and how it can help heal. I kind of tell a story of whenever I was going through it the first time, and a kid that I had encountered as one of my roommates in a hospital stay at one point. It's up on the lordsofgaming.net website. You can go check it out there. It's actually pinned on my Twitter. So if you're following me at idizzy81, and you just want to see, I'm being told that it's causing some tears. So apparently it's an emotional article. I guess to me it's something that I've kind of already gone through, so it's less emotional to me. But I guess it did its job, striking a chord.
All right. Okay. So, real quick, I know we got a couple things we got to cover. First off, James, I know you've been gone for a little bit. Real quick, so I guess cinema's been dead, right? Nothing's happened. It's been totally dead.
Yeah, there has been a surprising lack of. There's been tons of movie news, but the actual movie releases. I wish I could talk to you all about The Invisible Man. I haven't seen it. I've only heard fantastic things. Sam, have you seen it?
I'm seeing it tomorrow, actually.
There you go. I just keep hearing the most amazing things. It's the new film by Lee Whannell, who most of you will know is the creator of the Saw franchise. But he also wrote and directed the brilliant film Upgrade that came out, I think, 18 months, 2 years ago. I keep hearing great things about that. Can't wait to see it. Actual movie news itself, some weird things have been happening on the Star Wars front. I don't know everyone's vast opinions on Star Wars Episode 9. I thought it was a pile of shit. But the novelization came out, which has filled in a bunch of story things that actually make the story make sense. And if you can't see me, I'm doing massive air quotes around the word sense. So the major things is that Palpatine's son is not Palpatine's son. He is a failed Palpatine clone, and Palpatine in Episode 9 was also a clone. So now we have to say the words that the worst Star Wars film involving clones is now Episode 9 and not Episode 2.
Aha.
Okay, so all right, I gotta say one thing, and open season on spoilers, because if you haven't seen it by now, you don't care.
Oh hell yeah!
Hey! Some of us have not been able to, sir.
It's 3 months since release.
Okay, then Dizzy,
it'll be out next month on Disney Plus.
I'm putting my mute ears on right now.
All right, mute yourself, Dizzy, because I'm going to be quick. But all right, am I the only one who already thought Palpatine was a clone? Like, disregarding my opinion of the film, which I'm not going to get into right now, he would have to be. There is literally no way Palpatine survived being incinerated in Episode 6. It would have to be a clone. That was the entire implication. Like, I don't know. Of all the things to complain about, this feels like not one to complain about to me.
I mean, I'm not really complaining about it.
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying there are people who are. That's what I'm saying, James.
Oh yeah. I've got a big problem with novelizations coming out and having more story than the actual film itself.
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely. It feels like every single day, because I haven't read the novelization, but I see the tweets. I'm seeing a new tweet about something filled in. It's like, guys, for God's sakes, it shouldn't be this way.
Yeah,
it just
the official Star Wars Twitter account seems like a joke Twitter account at this point. They
yes,
just keep dropping
exactly.
Like, when do we find out that Jedis used to just went to the bathroom wherever they stood and cleaned it away with the Force? Like, we're not far away from this point.
Dude,
I hate that I understand that reference.
That's the truth.
I hate
really.
I hate
that. It is the truth in the Harry Potter universe.
I refuse to believe that. I refuse.
Well, as someone who's in the Harry Potter universe, I can confirm this to be true.
Oh, dang it! I forgot. That's right. You are.
Oh my God! It's canon.
By the way, I was watching I was skimming through Netflix here last night in Australia, and I saw that Crimes of Grindelwald was on, and I went to the bit, and I can see myself on screen. I'm right there for like 1 second. I'll take a picture and I'll send it to and we'll post it out through our social channel. But you cannot tell it's me unless I like put a little circle around it, but I will do that. Okay, so other big movie news. Just a big announcement. It happened, I think, 2 days ago. Is the announcement of Christian Bale in the next Thor movie.
Yep.
Which is a great thing because we all love Christian Bale, regardless of what you think about his ranting on the set of Terminator. But I would feel like ranting if I was on the set of Terminator Salvation.
I always felt like he was a misunderstood hero with that.
Oh, hell yeah. And also, I just think, if you're going to release that footage, releasing it like 10 days before the release of the film, you're trying to build publicity. Anyway, he's confirmed to be not only in the next Thor movie, but to be the villain.
Yep.
And not a villain. It's a very key wording. So confirmed to be the villain. It's not confirmed who he's going to play. There's been a lot of speculation. I don't know enough about the Thor comics to actually give my own guess on who it is.
It could be anybody.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things. I mean, we don't know if he's going to be an Asgardian, if he's going to be a cosmic villain. There's a bunch of things it could be, but I'm excited to see him in the film. Having him in it and Natalie Portman back, I think will be fantastic.
Part of my sick, demented self wants him to be Beta Ray Bill, just because I know he'll try to fit the role.
Yeah. And I don't have time to go into detail about what the coronavirus is doing to the world box office, but basically, in 2 words, it's not good.
Yeah.
It shut down China, which a lot of films were banking on.
Wasn't Mulan literally depending on that?
To a degree, yeah, but Mulan's going to make its money because it's a big Disney live-action remake. That'll be fine. It's the animated films. Sonic is losing money. There were a bunch of those kind of films that do well, especially in the Chinese market. And then there are a bunch of Chinese films that just didn't get released as early as February in the coronavirus situation. But it's a very, very interesting time to be watching what's going on, especially for someone who works in a cinema.
Yep.
But I do not have a lot of time.
Yep.
So can we jump in to the biggest news, which was that The Last of Us is being made into an HBO miniseries. I think that's the wording that's been used by the creator Neil Druckmann of Naughty Dog and co-writer Craig Mazin, the creator of Chernobyl. This is fantastic stuff. We all are very excited about this, and I would love us to speculate about what the show's going to be. But as I said, time is of the essence, so let's jump into fan casting.
I will say, at least with this one here, I think if it's going to be a mini-series, like with a very definitive beginning and end, they'll probably do the Joel Ellie arc.
They've already said, I'm not sure why this isn't more like bigger news than it is and people are confused. They've already said it's going to be. It's going to be the events of the game, and maybe if there's a second season, they will do the events of the second game.
I want 8 or 10 episodes, and I want 1 to deal with basically the Left Behind bit of Ellie's backstory, and 1 I want just something to fill in those 20 years that Joel had. That's what I want, and then the rest of it to be the game.
I'm very torn. I'm very torn about this. I'm going to say this really quick because I know you don't have a lot of time, James. But I counter to you that while I agree on a Left Behind episode, yes, absolutely, one of the last episodes of the first season, like one of the later ones, should be the flashback to the events of Left Behind, or even sprinkle it throughout 2 or 3 episodes. I think you could do that as well. Break it up a couple. However, I think one of the stronger aspects of Joel's character is the fact he goes from that dad, that average, mid-30s, whatever, suburban dad in the beginning, to this hardened character you truly don't understand. And we don't know what he did. But, open season spoilers on a 2013 game. He says, "No, Ellie, I've been on the other side of these kinds of traps." He's done awful things, and I think that's something more compelling if we don't know the exact detail. That's what I would counter to you.
So, James, because of time constraints, we're going to let you go first on your fan castings, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, so let's start with the big one. Joel, I'm going for Toby Kebbell. For those of you who don't know who he is, you'll mostly know him from the episode of Black Mirror called The Entire History of You, which is the memory one. But if in Hollywood, know him as playing Koba in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And he's the rival ape to Caesar in the second film.
Spell the last name for me, because if it's the guy I'm thinking, I'm gonna be like, damn, really?
Kebbel, Kebbel.
You mean the guy who played Doctor Doom?
Oh, he did. Oh my God, he did. I forgot about that.
That's who I remember him from.
I completely forgot that he was in that movie. Oh no! I mean, my backup. I swapped. He was originally playing Tommy. He was originally going to be playing Tommy, and I swapped him because I reckoned that the guy I had originally to play Joel would be too busy, which was Cillian Murphy.
Interesting.
Cillian Murphy's got the beard, man. He can do it, and both of them. They're both English dudes, but Cillian Murphy's Irish, but they can do the accent, no problem. Yeah. You know, you want that strong silent type, and Toby famously is great at motion acting and face work, and I think he could really pull that off. Let's move on to Ellie. I have Eliza Scanlon. Quite new on the scene. She's 21, but she does look a lot younger. She most recently was in Little Women. She played Amy March.
Yeah. She reminds me of Susan.
Oh no, not Amy. Beth. The one that died.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. It's really different because I think they're going to cast someone who's a complete unknown. They're going to cast an 18-year-old who looks.
That is the best case scenario.
And I do think that is what they should do. The other one is probably if they cast Daphne Keane, but she almost looks too young to play like a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
So yeah. My next one, we've got Marlene. I've gone for Lashana Lynch. Most people know her as Brie Larson's best friend in Captain Marvel. She's also playing 007 in the upcoming Bond film. So she is a star on the rise, and I reckon a big HBO series like this could really stamp her on the map if she does a good job. She is a very, very good actress, and a role like Marlene could do something for her. I said my other one with Tommy was going to be played by Cillian Murphy, who I think could be a fantastic, out of nowhere surprise casting decision. You know, you're watching your 6 episodes in, and you go, "Oh, it's Cillian Murphy. That's great."
Interesting.
So those are my main 4. I have one surprise pick.
Okay.
And I've done this will never happen, but I really think it could be the best piece of casting, and it's for David.
Ooh, go.
I have his name is Phil Brooks. He has done 2 movies. One called Girl on the Third Floor. It's a horror film. I think it's available on Netflix. A remake of a David Cronenberg film about cannibalism. I can't remember the name of it right now. But most of you know him as wrestler CM Punk.
I was gonna say, wait a minute.
I'm thinking CM Punk.
So the reason I picked this is because in the ring, CM Punk as a speaker was unparalleled. He oozed charisma, even as a villain, and that's the point. He's really quite softly spoken when he wants to be, but when he screams, you feel it. Someone like him, who could be unassuming in basically any form, whether he has like lots of facial hair, no facial hair, curly and roughed up hair at the top. He's just so immensely watchable on screen. Mm-hmm. And I reckon if he turned up and just started talking to you as if like, yeah, it's fine, I'm going to help you, it's going to be all good. He's got this lovely, calming, light Chicago accent that maybe he could taper it to be more like Nolan North's in the game. But I think if CM Punk showed up as David, you would believe him as a good guy and you believe him as a bad guy. And that's what you need from that character. Because he's arguably the best he's the most memorable character in the game other than Joel and Ellie. At least from
I would co-sign that. All right.
And I think that if you're going to have to do the Joel and Ellie story right, you have to cast the right villain. And if you cast someone too obvious, the people who may not know the story are not going to see it. If you cast CM Punk, you're going to think, oh yeah, this guy's going to help this girl. Oh no!
Yep. All right.
But it will never happen, but it's my dream.
All right.
So I got mine. You only guessed one person on my list. I did cast Daphne Keene as Ellie. I mean, it's been a few years since Logan, and I think she'd be okay. It would give her a chance to do something that would make her look older. It'd also give her an opportunity to keep going. So if this does expand into the second one too, they could probably bring her back and still look young enough to do it, if need be. So that's where I'm kind of landing on that. So my thing for Joel, I went through a couple different people. I landed on one person who I think actually needs the role and would be about the right age to do it. Gerard Butler. It would give him a chance to do something like fairly serious and give him some more acting cred lately. So that's what I looked at least for him. So I got Daphne Keene. So for Tommy, I went with Jeremy Renner. Namely because it's in a post-Avengers world for him. I know he's got the little show coming out, but he's probably going to want to do something a bit more serious lately. That's not Marvel related. I figured that would be the one to do for him. So I mainly look at people's careers. For Marlene, I went with Kerry Washington. Because I just haven't seen her in anything lately, and I figured that'd be a nice pick. That's pretty much why. The other one too, Bill. So for Bill, I mean, Bill was fine in the game to me. I would rather they completely go a different direction with him. I want Bruce Campbell.
Wild. I love that. Okay, you know what, man? I love that because that would be him in a horror like setting, but very, very different kind of horror setting.
Yep. Where he can do the haunted, like, oh my god, like what's going on here situation he's been doing for the last 30 years.
Okay,
he
all right.
Too, but he could also be a little more comedic and neurotic with it.
I'm on board.
So those are my picks.
Okay, good stuff.
I made James leave. He's like, how dare
dang
you
it.
say Bruce?
All right, James. Man, I wish James had been here for mine. But okay, you guys mind if I go ahead?
Nah, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to be up front. I refuse to cast Ellie, and here's the reason why. Because they're going to cast an unknown. They're not going to cast a known actress for Ellie. They're going to cast someone who's been in barely anything, some background extra, some very minor character in a couple of shows, very similar to Anya Chalotra Freya Allen for The Witcher. You cast someone who hasn't been associated with much at that point. So I didn't cast Ellie. That's the reason why. I do actually agree with you guys about Daphne Keene, though, if they were to go with someone more recognized. But I think someone unknown is the best pick. So for Joel, I went with someone who is definitely the right age, and I think he definitely is out of work. He's out of his big series at this point, and that is Nikolaj Coster-Waldau.
Man,
I think
I thought about him too.
Yeah, he has the right age for the grizzled, weary, I've been there, I've done this, you don't want to go down this path. He can do a convincing accent enough, it'll be good. He definitely has the physicality, the physical training. He's got the presence, he can do the gray stubble, the gray in his hair. Yeah. He's got it. I'm totally down with him doing it. Especially because Joel doesn't say much until towards the end. I think he can really carry the physical presence. Yeah. So that's my pick for Joel.
I was with you on that. The only reason why I didn't go with him was namely just because his career, I don't think he wants to do another HBO thing. Like, right after.
Possible.
That's the only reason. Otherwise, I'm with you on it. I'm with you.
But this is fan casting, right? Yes, so, All right. Yeah, I think he's good. You may be right, but I think he's good. So for Marlene, ironically enough, I'm going with the voice actress in the game, Merle Dandridge. I think she's perfectly capable. She is an accomplished actress. She's been in different shows. She's been in a couple of different movies, great theater presence. She voiced, funnily enough, Alex in the Half-Life series. So I think if you go look up a picture of her, Merle Dandridge, I think she could play Marlene perfectly well. I don't see any reason why not to go with her, because then the voice matches 1-to-1 and she has the physical presence. It's especially because Marlene isn't really that big in there, honestly. Like, she's there in the beginning and then she's there in the end, but other than that, she's not really there. So I think she would work perfectly well. All right, so for Bill, I got someone interested. Ivan, I think you'll find this pretty neat. Brendan Gleeson. Nothing? Really?
I gotta think about this for a minute. I gotta see his face for a minute.
All right, go look him up. But, I mean, father of Domhnall Gleeson, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, he has other kids, but that's the well-known one. He'd be a bit older, but Bill's a bit heavy-set. He's got a been there, done that, tired of this world and all its crap attitude. I think he could do it. Yeah, I definitely think he could do it. As a Bill, I can definitely see him there.
I don't know how I feel about that.
All right, we'll continue to think about it.
I don't know.
All right, so it'll at least be all right. It's an interesting pick, right? It's an interesting pick. Okay, so for Tommy, amusingly enough, it's another Black Mirror pick, but it's Wyatt Russell, lead character in Playtest. In case the name doesn't strike it. Cool.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Son of Kurt Russell. He has the face to me. He has the naive look, I could conceivably survive, but also I'm definitely not my older brother who has gone the way of the world, so to speak. I think he'd be really good. Also, he hasn't been in a lot of stuff, so like he's been in some stuff, but he hasn't been in a ton of big stuff. Black Mirror is the biggest thing I recognize him from, so I think that could be good for him. I think that could be really good. I definitely think he has the facial structure. And then last but certainly not least, I also gave a pick for David, and this is a very high-profile casting, probably the most high-profile, or second most compared to Nikolaj, but hear me out. Paul Bettany as David. The soft-spoken, I'm on your side, definitely, actually, I'm super crazy and going to kill you and eat you. Like, tell me Paul Bettany couldn't do that.
Interesting.
A little high profile, but enough that the audience isn't going to know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. The casual audience, I mean. They're not going to know which way it's leaning. That's my fan casting. I'm done now.
I didn't know Wyatt Russell was related to Kurt Russell. I didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, really?
Honestly, dude, until I was fan casting, I didn't know what I knew.
They don't look similar really at all.
No, they don't. Like, I thought it was a coincidence, last name. I know plenty of Russells. So, yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Disney, Mike, I know you guys were particularly interested, but you want to jump in on the fan casting at all or no?
Mine doesn't really make a lot of sense as far as the actors that I have picked.
Sure, fire away. So what you got?
So for Joel, I have Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's got the look pretty much nailed down. He could definitely play that gritty sort of character.
Yeah.
I think he would be well suited for that. I was going to go with kind of like the popular consensus and say Hugh Jackman, but I wanted to pick somebody else besides Hugh Jackman.
I think it's just too, like, after Logan, it's too obvious is the issue for me with Hugh Jackman.
Right. For Ellie, Ellie's tough. I don't know if she's going to be too old or not. Anya Taylor-Joy is an excellent actress. She was in The Witch. She was in Split. She was in Glass. She is an excellent actress. Like I said, my concern is that she might be too old, but she looks like she's 23. I don't know. I think that might be a little bit of a stretch, but she's a great actress.
Yeah.
For Marlene, I have Rosario Dawson.
That's good. Yeah. I can see that.
I think she would be good in that role. Honestly, the one that I'm having the most trouble with is Tony. I mean, at first I had Tom Hardy, and it's like, no, I can't really see him in that. And then I was like going way out there, and I was thinking, oh, well, in some kind of alternate universe, Leonardo DiCaprio. But he was the one I'm having the most trouble with out of all of them. But definitely, I think Joel, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Ellie, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Marlene is Rosario Dawson.
That's definitely a good pick for Marlene. I'm with you there.
Yeah. All right, I'm down with that. Dizzy, did you want to jump in on this?
All right, so this is a fan casting, right?
Yep.
All right, so for Rick Grimes, I'm going to go with Andrew Lincoln. All right, we're going to start there. And then moving on to Maggie Green, we got Lauren Cohen. Okay, I'm not even going to front it. It's a game I've always been interested in, but I've never actually played the game, so I'm going to kind of like stay at the two main faces of the game. Actually, I agree with Sam with Joel. I was thinking that Nikolai would be excellent. He just the look. And I have to disagree with Anchor that I don't think that he would run away from another HBO series. We've seen plenty of actors who've done great in roles go from one series to another. So I don't think that that's something he'd be opposed to. My pick for Ellie is just an ironic pick because I think that she should be forced to play the role after her little outburst over the look of Ellie. So Ellen Page needs to play Ellie, kind of like a punishment. So those are my two picks.
Yeah. Yeah. It was funny because when we were talking in the group chat, I was like, if anybody picks Ellen Page for Ellie.
Darn right.
Hasn't
more
she,
like a punishment?
After Beyond Two Souls and everything that happened with that, hasn't she like sworn off that she's not going to work with Sony again? Or am I forgetting something?
I don't remember, honestly. I don't remember.
I thought she did because I know there was a big issue.
I thought that the swear off came when she felt that they stole her identity for The Last of Us.
Yeah.
They're like, that girl looks like me.
All right. The point is she's had a lot of drama with Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she does look like her, and they even called her Ellie. Like, they didn't even try to hide it either. So, I'm sorry. Anyway, we got a couple times we got to hurry about because we know people got to leave, and I'm trying to make sure everybody gets home on time. All right, real quick. So we got not much news really happened this week. It's been kind of quiet, at least on the Western Front. Except we had one big piece of news that popped out. Apparently, Reggie Fils-Aimé, who had left Nintendo end of last year, has now joined the board of directors for GameStop, which is kind of weird, but not really weird if you think about it. Sam, were there any more details that came out from that? Or I just saw the headline and I was like, oh, wow, that's interesting.
Not really. There's not many, except that Reggie has said that he's a firm believer in fun retail presence for people, and he's happy to be on board, and that he wants to make some changes. So, I don't know. I'm still processing this one, if I'm going to be honest, because it's really recent. I'm going to limit my comments to if there's anyone who can help, Reggie might be it. He helped Nintendo through some really dark times. He's given them some amazing transformations. A lot of people don't understand the presence that Reggie had in their physical stores and transforming Nintendo's outlook. At the same time, GameStop might be beyond saving. So, there's that too.
I kind of had the same feelings as that. I mean, obviously Reggie has a proven track record with what he's done at Nintendo, but GameStop has a lot of problems right now. I know that there's some stores that I've seen online, they're trying to diversify and become more like, I guess you could call them gaming cafes and focus on hangout spots and things like that, but you're really not seeing that in the majority of their stores. So I don't know if Reggie's going to be able to fix all their problems. Main problem that GameStop has is they need some type of way to remain relevant in this era of digital distribution. Not have to help the team.
Yeah, I mean, there's nowhere to go but up right now. And so, like, if it bombs, you can't blame him for it. But if it succeeds, hey, it's a public entrance. It's like, oh, wow, he did turn around. Or at least even if he does nothing, it doesn't matter. If it turns around, they'll give him the support for it.
Well, here's kind of like my take on it. Actually, a couple weeks back, we were talking about this on the Brap podcast, or it was kind of like a Brap rant, talking about everything that's going on with GameStop. I kind of have the luxury of being where it's headquarters, so I see a lot more, and I know more people who are involved with the corporate side. The biggest issue that they have, they need to start with start at corporate, start at the head, and work their way down. I don't think that the stores are much of an issue is starting at the head of the snake. I see that Xbot had said that Reggie's going to ruin his name with this move. Here's where I kind of disagree with. And I kind of alluded to this earlier when I kind of tweeted it out, and I had made the statement. Let me pull that back up so that I can quote myself properly. I said, you can't be faulted for a sunken ship, but you can get credit for bringing the Titanic off the floor of the ocean. So I don't think that he's going to sully his name, even if this doesn't go the way that he's hoping that it goes. But he definitely will get all the credit because he's the biggest name. It's not just him. There's actually 3 other individuals who are going in, and 4 of the top guys that are on the board of directors are actually they're saying the word retiring. I think that that's probably not as true as they're saying. I think that this is kind of a force out situation. They're just not saying it. So those guys are leaving. These guys are coming in. If it goes well, whatever changes that they want to implement, of course, he's going to get the credit because, again, he's the biggest name on the 4 list. And as Mike had kind of alluded to, is they're trying to make a lot of changes in stores. They're doing a thing where they want to get people in the store, get that foot traffic. So they're making it more like if you've ever gone to like a comic book store where they have like the tabletop. So you go into these stores, they got the tabletops, they've got games, PCs, consoles, everything, and they want to do more. And I said this a long time ago in an article I wrote about the situation that GameStop is. I don't know if a lot of people had noticed that the changes that Best Buy had gone through over the years. The biggest change that they've done was they started bringing the demos into the store so you could demo it in the store. And I feel like that's the biggest thing that GameStop has needed to do with this digital distribution being a more prevalent thing. Obviously, you need to go somewhere. You got to compete with Amazon. But if people are going to be more willing to buy something that they can touch and they can feel and they know and they're more comfortable with it, if they can actually do that. So they're looking at doing things like that. Honestly, I feel like they're kind of making their workers more like glorified babysitters if they're looking to bring people in to just play games. But we'll see what other changes kind of come to these. Out here, it's kind of funny. A lot of people, they talk about, oh, well, GameStop is pushing out all of these, other companies, yada, yada, yada. They're buying these. They're pushing out the mom and pop stores. It's not like that out here, and this is their home base. There's several different companies out here that actually compete with GameStop very well in GameStop's own place. And the stadium that they actually have a part in ownership of, here's what's kind of weird about that situation. You would not know that GameStop has anything to do with it other than the fact that there's a store on the inside of that stadium. And I think that's kind of weird. They don't know how they want to market themselves during this transition. It's just kind of like a weird time for GameStop in general. With Reggie coming on, we'll see what happens. Hopefully he can right the ship for them along with the other individuals. It's going to be a lot of work, but like I said, it's already sunken, so you really can't go any further down than it already is.
You brought up a great point, Dizzy. I mean, talking about this, in my opinion, if you look at the tech industry, right, who I think has, in my opinion, the best retail presence as far as brick and mortar stores is Apple stores and Microsoft stores. that way because you go into an Apple store, they got rows and rows of devices. You just walk in and touch, and you can mess around with these devices and see what they're about. And Microsoft Store is the same thing. You want to buy a Surface, you want to buy an Xbox. They have all that set up there for you to actually go in and use it. GameStop needs a model to where, have like a bunch of PS4s in there and have on those PS4s their top 5 best-selling PS4 game. So you could go in and play them. And the same thing with Xbox and the same thing with Switch. Now, I think the challenge with GameStop is going to be a lot of these stores, at least by me, they don't have a lot of floor space. Like some of these GameStop stores by me, they're really, really tight and cramped. So that's something that they got to work on too. As far as Reggie, worst comes to worst. Like somebody said, even if he does nothing, he's a recognizable face. He's a likable guy. Pretty much everybody in gaming knows him and respects him. And he's at least definitely a positive face for the company, which I think is something that they need right now.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with everybody you see they're leaving. Actually, a good personal friend of mine, Panda. I don't know if any of y'all know Panda, but
I know Panda.
Yeah, she definitely has stories, and if anybody's familiar with the Camelot, or was it Camelot 331 stories that he has, he's not off the truth. He's right on the money whenever he's coming to the stories and everything that are being delivered, just based off of things that have been told to me, not just by Panda, who no longer works there, mind you. So I can't get her in trouble with them, but other individuals that I know that are working at the corporate level, just the things that you hear, it's just, it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I think that the biggest thing that they need to work on, start at that corporate level, there at their office, and then work their way towards the storefront. But I don't know about y'all. I can't think of a time where I've gone into a GameStop and actually had a bad experience.
I can
dealing with the individual.
I can. They got a lot. They got some policies.
But how?
I know Dolphins.
Well, sure. But the policies.
So.
Here's my argument about the policies. Is it really the employee's fault that those policies are in place? I mean, but because if they don't bring it up, if they don't talk about these things, this is the thing that I always point out is they have a job to do. And unfortunately, I can't fault a employee who works for the company for doing their job. Now, mind you, I won't doubt that there's definitely those situations where somebody will go in and have a bad experience with somebody who's kind of being an asshole. But how often is that?
Oh, it's not the employee's fault. It's not the employee's fault at all. But as a result of those policies, that's partially results in the bad experience. The one thing that I can't get over that absolutely drives me up the wall is if you grab a new game and it's the last copy of the new game, that thing is opened and I see them take the disc out of it and put it in there and they try to sell it to you as new. No, a new game is sealed from the factory. That shit ain't new.
Oh, absolutely.
That is an open box. That drives me up a wall.
Their policies, I think, are different, a completely different thing, and I think that we could definitely go into a whole podcast itself just talking about the policies itself. I myself, I've never gone in there and had a bad experience dealing with the individuals that are there. The policies that they have to abide by, I can't fault them for that. So that's just kind of like, I don't know, maybe that's just how I see it. That's why I say that whenever I've gone in there, I've never had a bad policy. In fact, I mean, I've gone in there where the employee that I've dealt with had gone above and beyond, such as I went in there one time, I think I was buying Assassin's Creed Brotherhood or Revelations, one of the two. And I don't know why my ID was not in my wallet, but for whatever reason, it wasn't there. And he was going by the law, the policy where he had to ID. And I was like, oh man, I could have gone home. I knew it was the policy and I can't fault him for that. But he was like, do you have anything? Do you have a tattoo? And I was like, yeah, I got a tattoo. So I was able to show him that, and he kind of like went out of the way to find a way that he could still make sure that I left the store with the game rather than have me go home. So I feel bad for the employees. There's a lot of things like I think that the thing that really took me back, if I were to relate to you, Mike, is I've gone in there before and the very first thing that they want to talk about is hey, do you have a cell phone? Do you want to sell it? I don't remember ever going into a GameStop, buy or purchase or sell a cell phone. Let's talk about the headset I'm trying to purchase. So they definitely have a lot of policies that they definitely should be working. That's why I always say that for this instance, start at that corporate level, get that straight, and then work your way back to the storefront.
Yeah, and I mean, like I was saying before, their biggest issue is like, I used to go to GameStop a lot, but now I'm at a point where like I haven't bought a game from GameStop. God, I would say it's been like about a year and a half, 2 years. But with stuff like Game Pass, I buy all my games digital now. I game share with Ivan. All my games are digital on Switch. It's like they need to figure out a way to bring somebody like me that used to go to GameStop but now has embraced this digital lifestyle to bring those type of people back.
Exactly. That's right now, Mike. Right now, the only thing holding me back from going 100% digital is the fact that I'm a sucker for collector's editions and steelbook. That's it.
Right.
Because I love those two things. Other than that, I'm perfectly happy being 100% digital. And GameStop needs to adjust to that. They need to figure out why someone actually still should take time out of their day to come to a physical store instead of just buying something and setting it to down.
No, I definitely agree with you on that.
Yeah, totally. There really is no reason for Leon to go to GameStop right now, and I understand they want to kind of move to this more service-based model, where it's like, hey, look, you come here to hang out. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna get you some. They want to move to that model, which I understand. I can't see it.
Isn't that kind of weird?
That's why Reggie's here.
Like, I mean, in the back of your mind, would you ever think, like, instead of gaming at home with all of the items that I have here that I know that work and nobody else is touching, would you ever think to, hey, let me go hang out with GameStop with some random individuals and deal with these peripherals that God knows where it's been, who's been touching it, and if they're Corona
now's not the time for this idea.
Corona drinking.
Right.
They're drunk at the store, so who knows? So I just think that's why I say that I feel like they're pushing it to be like glorified babysitting, because that's the only group of people I could see pushing into this is like, yeah, let me go drop off little Timmy over at GameStop so we can go hang out with the friends for who knows what, $20 for an hour or something. That's just such a weird move to me.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like the card shop model, where it's like you go in, you get your cards, you move on. That's what they want to do, but it doesn't really work video games right now.
But for the comic book and the card shop, we're used to that. It's just this is GameStop. That's it doesn't click.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But for sake of time, we got to move on. We're going to breeze through the rest of these topics just because it's not as interesting as the GameStop situation. But other than that, I know because people have to leave in 5 minutes, so I'm trying to make sure we get this go through everything. Call of Duty, Mike, you're a resident Call of Duty guy. Warzone announced, sort of leaked. I guess it's leaked technically.
No, it was officially announced too.
Oh, gotcha.
It was officially announced.
Please,
it's coming tomorrow.
Full trailer and everything.
Tell us more.
Another battle royale. I honestly didn't even watch the trailer. It doesn't interest me. I honestly didn't even watch the trailer.
Wow. That I now mark this as dead. If Mike's not interested, it's dead.
Not interested.
Not really. It's gonna live now because he doesn't want.
Yeah, I mean, it's Call of Duty. It's going to find its player base. I thought that there were a couple of things that looked very Escape from Tarkov-ish, very, very light on that. But, I mean, it looks just like their other Battle Royale, just free and up to 150 players, boys!
Also, the fact that...
Here's my thing. They can't even get the hit registration right in 10 versus 10. What's going to be like 150 players? Like... You
don't like shooting walls and getting your kills?
No, it's not very appealing.
Ricochet.
All right. So, other than that, there's really not much to say. It's another Call of Duty Battle Royale. We'll move on. Other than that, we got one other topic. It's briefly, the Sony silence continues. We have now reached March, or DEF CON Level 4, for those of us more in the know. Okay, at the beginning of this year, back in January, who out of the group here thought that Sony would not have officially announced any sort of event by now?
I thought we would have at least gotten a Wired article. I'll say that. I thought at bare minimum we would get one last Wired interview going over more of their plan.
Yeah.
I'm definitely because that's the thing, right? I understand. You want to say, oh, coronavirus keeping us from doing events. Okay, I understand that. I'm not going to hold hundreds of events comment against you because I remember when they said they'd be at hundreds of events, but I'm not going to hold that one against them because of the COVID-19 outbreak. But what I am going to hold against you is, guess what? Randomly, out of the blue, Xbox just confirmed, oh yeah, by the way, Windows Central's leak was correct and it's 12 teraflops, RDNA 2, smart delivery, all this other cool stuff we're doing. You can do a blog post, Sony. You can do a Wired article. I understand you don't have to say things as early as Xbox does because they're more desperate to take back market share. But we're now 3 months into the year. 3 months. These consoles are ostensibly releasing November 2019. You got to start talking soon. Because at a certain point, people are just going to give up and say, okay, fine, I'll get the thing that people are actually talking about. That will eventually happen. Again, I understand PlayStation has sure they have that powerful brand name. They don't have to say things as much as Xbox does, but eventually they have to say something.
Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get at least an announce or a date as far as when we're going to get more specs or anything like that. I think for better and for worse, Sony is very comfortable in the position that they're in right now.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. That's a very good way.
They are the clear market leader right now, which is different from where they were at the start of this gen, because PS3 going into PS4, they were basically neck and neck with the 360. So they were really aggressive with announcing the PS4. They had the February event. Part of me thinks that maybe they're still kind of waiting and trying to see what Microsoft does, but that kind of doesn't make sense because they're the clear market leader. So I really don't know. I mean, we're going to get information eventually. We all know that.
That's the other thing, Mike, is Microsoft, aside price aside, we know the specs. Microsoft has revealed they're
going to be similar. Yes.
And these consoles are going to be very similar, even though the PS5 will probably be a bit weaker than the Series X, but honestly, who cares? It's fine. Seriously. They're both going to be big leaps.
Right. Who cares? They're going to be similar.
I mean, if you're waiting until June or July when Microsoft reveals price, that's a strategy, all right. I'm not sure it's a good one, but it's a strategy.
I just think everything around it is just kind of interesting. We were kind of talking before the show. It's a little weird that Ghost of Tsushima has less likes on Instagram than their logo does. Did anybody happen to see the Mojo video on YouTube discussing the Xbox Series X versus the PS5? And they gave, I'm just going based off of other individuals who were complaining about it. I refuse to give them a view myself, but apparently they gave the PS5 for the looks of the console the win over the Xbox Series X.
Wait,
I was like, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, that was my response too. Kind of interesting since we don't even know what it looks like. So it kind of goes also to show how desperate individuals are, or even other companies are, just for news based off of PS5 and just nothing.
Wow.
I just want them to announce the specs and be done with it because I'm tired of hearing about
it. Please. Oh, please, yes.
Good God.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. guys, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, you're going to get more Xbox information before you get PlayStation information.
I believe it. I
No,
believe the
no,
whole
like,
party.
100%. I would put money on this if you guys wanted to. You will get another Xbox blog post before Sony says anything at all.
Oh, absolutely. I believe that 100%.
Wow.
Interesting times ahead. Interesting times.
All right.
So,
All right. I guess we'll wrap things up here tonight. Good topics. Good stuff. All right. So we are going to be wrapping things up. Where can good people find you, sir? Let's start with Dizzy. Where can good people get more of your content, sir?
yeah, you can find me, of course, on Twitter at iDizzy81 across all platforms. Again, iDizzy81, unless you want my Nintendo Social Security, as Lord Cognito likes to call it. Also, find me over at lordsofgaming.net. Mainly, I'm helping with the editing end, but on occasion, I do have a couple of editorials that come out, bigger pieces. The most recent one, as we discussed earlier, the cancer subject. Yeah, if you go give it a read, that'd be fantastic. Hopefully, it hits home with you or somebody who you know and everything. It's not, I've gotten a lot of family members that are like, oh, I thought it was gaming. It's actually a lot more than that. But yeah.
All right. And Sam?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Samuel Tolbert. That's Tolbert. Come talk to me. Happy to talk to you about games, movies, tech, whatever. And then you can also find what I write on Windows Central, Android Central, and iMore. I've actually got a new interview coming out about the art direction, animation design, accessibility, and audio features of Bleeding Edge. I talked with several developers at Ninja Theory at a recent preview event, and I've got a huge interview coming out. It's like 4,500. It's a honker. But it's some good stuff.
Nice.
Some good
And
stuff.
if a lot of people don't know about that, and being from a different publication, that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
for context, it's rare that I would ever interview above or publish an interview rather above 1,500, 2,000. This took some time. This took some time to edit. So please check it out when it's out.
All right, sure. All right, Mike?
All right, guys. You can find me on Twitter at The Truth of Mike P. Pretty much everywhere else at Mike P. The Truth. You can also find me as a writer on lordsofgaming.net. Make sure you check out my article from last month about why Primal Rage is my favorite fighting game of all time. I'm also going to have reviews coming up in the near future of the Xbox Elite Controller Series 2 and also the Genesis Mini, which is, in my opinion, the best retro mini console release to date. But I'll be doing a review of that in the near future as well.
All right. And I'm Anchorman V2. You guys know where to find me. Xbox, PlayStation, all the rest of that stuff. Except not Switch. I don't have Switch anymore, so sorry. Anyway. Yep. I left the Switch gang. I'll probably be whacked by the end of the night, so... all right.
My man Tom Nook is coming here and he speak.
Well, I got Isabel to protect me for now, so... All right. So, thank you
That's
guys.
his floozy.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for tuning into the Multiverse Show, the greatest show on Mondays, and we are out of here.